My mother's Puerto Rican. My father's Dominican. And my stepfather's Cuban. I single-handedly represent the entire Spanish-speaking Caribbean.
Yes, she does, and great legs, too.
Come on, legs.
Come on, legs. That's comedian Aida Rodriguez on Tiffany Haddish Presents They Ready back in 2019. I remember that. Since then, she's released her own comedy special, but her journey to success was not easy, and that's an understatement. Rodriguez says she dealt with homelessness, a very difficult marriage, and a turbulent childhood. She says that started when her mom took her away from her father at a young age, moving her from the Dominican Republic to the United States.
Now she writes about that and all of it in a new memoir. It's called Legitimate Kid, and we're very excited to have Aida with us now. Aida, thank you very much for being here. So Gayle used the generous term "tooken away," right? But you say kidnapped.
Yeah, I think it's important to give it the proper name. It's when you take someone against their will from illegally. I mean, I was taken out of the country, away from my father. And I didn't see him again until 2021.
Wow. And so
I'm a grown-up.
You talk about your personal life from the stage as a comedian.
Yeah.
When, as you put it, there's the burden of the punchline.
Yes.
Here is a book, very different format. What was it like going from the stage to the page?
You know, it's something I've been doing since I was little. I've been journaling. I learned to write it out. That's how I dealt with my pain as a kid. And I wanted just to tell my story. I'm not a jester. You know, nobody walks up to a dentist and opens their mouth and say, hey, can you check to see if I have cavities?
If you have tooth pain.
But with comedians, they expect us to be on all the time. I'm a human being.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to tell my story without having to feel like I had to...
Perform.
Yeah, perform and also trivialize it. They do that to a lot of us with our pain. It's like, make me laugh about it. No,
it's not funny. I mean, even the title Legitimate Kid, because here you are, I think you're in 3rd grade. Somebody calls you a bastard.
Yeah.
You don't know what that means, but you know it isn't good.
Right.
And so you spent your whole life, or a large part of your life, trying to say to your mom, why don't I have my dad's last name? And you were very envious of other kids that had their dad's last name because you felt that was a hole for you. Why?
Yeah, you know what? In our community, I grew up poor. I grew up in the hood, as they say, and we played the dozens, and that was something that was weaponized against other people. We would find one thing that would say, at least I'm not you. And so sometimes that was it. Your daddy didn't sign your birth certificate.
Yes.
That was a big blow to us back then. And we were all poor, living in the same neighborhood.
Right.
But I have my father's last name, so at least I'm better than you.
Wow.
And it was just a reminder of, you know, the pain. Like, my dad wasn't there. I didn't need to be reminded.
But because your mom kidnapped you, as you say, from your dad, and then later on, your grandmother, your mother's mother, kidnapped you again from her because she didn't think she was a great mom to you.
Yeah, she thought that I was in an environment that was unhealthy. My mom was in a relationship with someone who was on the run for murder.
For murder, yeah.
And
there's that.
Yes, and my grandmother made an executive decision, and she did a whole stakeout with my uncle. They did surveillance, and they came and got me.
So the comedy, did that come out of those moments as a kid where you're being bullied, you're being made fun of because of the lack of the father's last name? Is that the moment of creation, really?
Yeah, you know, when you are a little kid that's exposed to stuff you're not supposed to be exposed to at a young age. I was exposed to Richard Pryor, who is my comedy hero, but I was watching him process his pain through jokes and humor.
Yeah.
And I found an outlet, you know. I became good at the dozens, and I started snapping back.
You write about leaving a difficult marriage, having 2 young kids, moving to L.A. to chase this dream.
Yes.
What went behind that decision? And also, what advice do you have to people that are hesitating? Because not everybody is willing to take that leap.
Well, you know, the universe agrees with a made-up mind. That's how I live my life.
Preach!
And so, you know,
that.
I made a decision, and that was me taking agency over my life when I left my ex who I don't want to demonize either. Like I'm free now, but
Yeah.
it took me a while to get there. I had 2 young kids. Kids are observational learners. I always wanted to pursue this dream of the arts. It's always what I wanted to do. And so I made a decision. I had my vision board, and then I had my budget. Because you got to do my budget board. And then I sat down and I was like, these are the steps, and this is how we go. And I have 2 successful children as a result of it, because they watched me.
And a successful career.
They know
Yes.
their name and they
Successful
know where
career.
they came from.
Yeah.
As a comedian and author.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
The universe agrees with a made-up
Ooh,
mind.
that was
That is
good.
well said.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
Ida Rodriguez, thank you very much. The book is Legitimate
you.
Kid. It is on sale now. She's got a way with words.